This looks just so Polish to me. I don't even know why, and I don't even mean it mean in any way. I really like it. But just this sort of like rundown thing where no investor has yet tried to or dared to put their hands on. Very nice. Hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Traveling the World using Google Maps Street View imagery. For you, it is just another episode. For me, there was a whole week in between this one and recording the previous one. So perhaps I'm a little bit rusty here or there. Today we will be going to what French people would call Eastern Europe, even though Eastern Europe is not a very sort of like defined area, because I think many Central Europeans will not feel very complimented by it, perhaps somewhat wrongly. But when you go to East Berlin, people will say, yeah, okay, Eastern Europe starts in Warsaw. And in Warsaw, people will say, well, Eastern Europe starts in Minsk, in Belarus. And there, people will say, well, Eastern Europe starts somewhat behind Moscow. And behind Moscow, people will say, Eastern Europe? Today, we will be going to the Central European city of Łódź. Well, if Łódź doesn't tell you anything, perhaps you are like me, and you have called this city Lodz or Lodz for the longest time. But this city that many of us called Lodz is actually called Łódź. In fact, I was just watching a video that would set me up to pronounce it correctly, so I will also quickly write down the right pronunciation for you. Basically, it is like such. Well, this is the name of the city, and we pronounce it as such, Łódź. Well, anyways, the person in the video said if it was a British city, it would be written Łódź, Łódź, because this Polish L with the line through it is a W, and the Z with an accento on top of it is a sh, and the D is relatively silent. So Lodz becomes Łódź. Now Lodz, you may not think so, but happens to be quite a big city. Almost 700,000, 650,000 people live there. And what do you even know about Łódź? You know Manchester, Liverpool, Toulouse, but all of these cities are smaller than Łódź, if I'm not mistaken. And we're not just going to go to Łódź for the sake of going to Łódź. We're going to go to Łódź to travel one particular street that I have heard of some years ago that I consider maybe a good sort of first impression street of Łódź. This street is called Piotrkowska Street. What's so special about it? Well. Piotrkowska Street is one of the longest commercial thoroughfares in Europe, with a length of 4.2 kilometers. In other words, one of the longest central shopping street. I've read on other websites that it was called one of the longest streets in Europe, which perhaps is a little bit problematic because there are streets in Europe that are longer than 4.2 kilometers, even in a straight line, because this Piotrkowska Street has its 4.2 kilometer straight line that goes very much to the city center, and that, as stated here, has been a central axis around which the city grew bigger. So I think it is a very nice street. It's probably a street I would try to walk completely through if I was to visit Łódź, which is still yet to do. And I think there's not so much else to say other than to go onto the map and have a look at Łódź Street. We see Łódź is here, somewhat, 20, little bit over 100 kilometers, west, southwest from Warsaw. a city that in many parts will remind us of Paris, of Avignon, you name it. Um, but yeah, we are in my favorite Eastern Europe again, and Piotrkowska Street is this one. I will show you again with my favorite tool, the measuring tool. It is this street that goes here, right through the center of Łódź. And, well, 4.4 kilometers. Maybe I measured a bit generously. Yeah, I gave it 50 meters here or there. And yeah, I would like to travel it from south to north, because in the south, a little bit we get more of a suburbs vibe. In the north, it's very much city center. And I think that's really all there is to say to it. So let's get right onto the map and set ourselves up for a travel through Łódź. Well, basically here it seems the city ends. Real Łódźians will know that's not the case. But here, probably kind of where this market is, I think it is a market, the street starts. So let's go. This is, by the way, this bus is red and yellow. Red and yellow, red and yellow. It's the colors of Łódź, the city of Łódź. This tram is a little bit of a newer sort of interpretation of these colors. And by interpretation, I mean it doesn't have these colors anymore. But here you see the classic sort of like more, I don't know, socialist colors of the city. Here's a market or some kind of bus stop or some kind of thing. And I think we're just gonna see what we find on this 4.2, 4.4 kilometer exploration of the city of Łódź. Some newer developments, although this is not very new. Certainly not as old as this. I think that's fair to say. Also, forgive me, I'm a little bit sleepy still. It's 8 in the morning. So forgive me for zipping away on my coffee whilst I'm talking. Ugh, cold. Here we have a true Łódźian, one of the heroes of the city, namely Vladislava Stanislava Raymonta. Let me know in the comments who that exactly is. Here we see our street name, Piotrkowska Street, 7B. And here we see, you know, a Polish person, I would say, just as jolly as we are to travel this marvelous long thoroughfare, commercial thoroughfare, through the very heart of Europe. Nice older factory building that is being renewed, refurbished. Very nice park. I have to say that my impression of Poland, if anything, well, what I wanted to say, if nothing else, is that there are very nice parks in Poland and very, very nice cities. Architecture-wise, a true pearl. So I will not get tired to, you know, go to these sort of cities, because what are we going to do in Paris? But let's not make this another Paris hate video. We should probably do that, cover it in a separate 1 hour long, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, 1 hour long hate and disgust video about Paris. Nice church. One thing I like very, very much is these sort of houses. I would imagine that some of the apartments are renovated inside, but from the outside, not. You see there's some newer windows here or there. But the facade looks so old, looks like it has a lot of good stories to tell them. It has seen all the trams that existed in Łódź over the last decades. Here's something covered up, which is not the case. It looks like a damn hot summer day. And I would imagine that in central Poland it gets very, very hot. Like probably is over 30 degrees. Every Łódźian will be happy about a few clouds. Not her. By the way, we are now April 2021. Here we see some new stuff going down right here in Piotrkowska Street, which, you know, is probably one of the more pricey areas of development in the city. Because who would not want to live on Piotrkowska Street? Nice block. Gotta love a nice block. I mean, so far, very, very nice. Like, what would you say, you know? It just looks nice. It looks warm. It looks like great city to walk. Everything you would want from a city. Another nice block. Not bad, eh? Not bad. Here we have a little kiosk, a little corner shop, a Czapka. When I was in Warsaw, I once saw a particular street corner where there were 5 Czapkas. 5. Which is a lot, you know? And they're all full with people. Which makes me think that much of the Polish life works or wouldn't work without Czapkas. Czapkas. I'm also just looking for something to say about them because it pronounces so nicely. Czapka. Yeah, this is a very more sort of like, I don't know, socialist or like 70s, 60s architectural view. Which is very nice, very elegant. Even with this building in the background, you know, because like somehow it's a vibe. It's a certain vibe. A vibe that I'm hunting. A vibe that I'm craving for. Oh yeah. Look at this Polish dude taking a classy break in his shirt. Yeah. Eastern Europeans have style. Tell me what you want. Eastern Europeans have drip. A tram with a roof? No. The usual happened to us. But we could get out again. So I think I have to go here. Which I'm not sure is now footage that was recorded by a car, but I guess so. I mean, you can drive here, just since it is a commercial thoroughfare, it's probably quite pedestrianized. We are August 2017, so I guess it is quite warm. Warm enough for people to chill in the shade. Loads of very bright, sort of pastel, cream, champagne, white bread colored houses here. and loads of Łódźians going for a stroll. Here also the sort of like archetype of the Polish man. Slippers, shorts, having this, not having a bag or a backpack, but having always just a shopping bag from a supermarket, just to express some sort of like, I'm not taking life too serious, you know, I'm a functional man, I provide for my family, I have short hair, I'm not going to be in front of the mirror for 2 hours, you know, to get ready. Yeah, I think we will see a few of them. Here's another example with long pants. Also very interesting architecture here. A building that would only be half as interesting without the curved window there. But you know, it's also a very good example if you think about more in terms of urban planning, that even though the street is very long and very straight, it doesn't feel like it, you know, because it changes in parts, it has these street cafes, sometimes the tram is going, sometimes not. Like you don't even feel like, you know, just as in New York when we traveled to Fifth Avenue, like somehow it's also a very long straight street, but you don't feel it because it changes so much, and when you start walking it, you cannot even really see the end. So it's kind of pleasant even to keep these long streets or to even operate in blocks as a city, which, you know, some true European would say, well, blocks are the opposite of an organically grown city. But they are not, because this street was here and the city grew around it, from it. So there are different examples. Here we have some exhibition of Polish cartoons or something. Polish graphic design, I really don't know. More touristic sort of, these kind of places where you probably already pay just to sit there. Well, probably not, but you know, if it was Italy, you would be first paying, then praying just to sit there. Another kind of kiosk. Very nice. Here's a Grand Hotel. Looks very nice. Not everything has to be new, you know. Some kind of, not hard rock cafe, I guess, but Lizard King. Let's meet a Lizard King. Sandwich. This is also something that kind of like, suddenly you have these 2-story houses. You have some 3 or 4-story one, 2-story one, and look how nice it looks. You can take some shade here. You can, you know, if you're homeless, you can have a sleep here, I guess. And looks very, very nice. Unfortunately, it doesn't look very residential. It's just always kind of, you know, in cities like Łódź, I guess many of the nice architecture is owned by somewhat shady businesses, like some hostels that also are doing money laundering side hustle. I'm joking. Or am I? Well, I'm definitely joking, but am I joking in that sense? I don't know. Very, very nice. So very nice, very calm. You know, the effect of a pedestrianized road, even the effect of having not a tarmac road, but these cobblestones, like having a few changes in the ground, in this case the zebra crossings, just makes it sort of like so more like step back and calm, and so more pleasant to travel it somehow. At least that's what I feel. Like it signals to the cars, take it slow here, there are people walking. But it's also not a clear separation between, like, look how low the sidewalks are. It's just, you know. Anyway, we have a big square here that is called Plac Wolności. No, this is W, is a W. Wolności. Well, correct me, please. I'm happy to be corrected. The kind of element in Polish architecture, urban planning that we find, I think, across many cities. I remember such kind of straight streets go into a square. Parts in Warsaw a lot. Cactus exclusive alcohole. Oh yeah. You know, you get your Cactus exclusive here. Come in here in the early hours of the evening, zipping away, and yeah, you really just want to take your friends and walk down Piotrkowska Street, don't you? Well, I would, anyways. This also is some Bauhaus sort of style. Very elegant. You know, to maybe it looks very simple to you, it's nothing much to see, it's just a white house, but this little raffinesse corner here tells you that there's some special thought that went into this. And probably in the inside you find wooden handrails curved by God's hands. Very, very nice. The Szapka graffiti. Oh, this looks just so Polish to me. I don't even know why, and I don't even mean it mean in any way. I really like it. But just this sort of like rundown thing where no investor has yet tried to or dared to put their hands on. Very nice. Oh, by the way, this is the end of Piotrkowska Street. I mean, I have to say that this really went quickly just because, yeah, I think there was so much to see, or else it was so pleasant. You know, that's the end of that street. Here we see the square. Now, technically, if I was Łódź, I would name this continuation of the street here not Nowo Miejska, but still Piotrkowska, just because it still goes straight and you could get an even longer commercial thoroughfare. You put a kiosk here and still call it a commercial thoroughfare, and your street gets even longer. But it isn't, so we really shouldn't be here, but you know, we are tasting a little bit of the forbidden fruit by being here. And I also just wanted to go as long straight as this street goes on, even though it's not really the street anymore. Biedronka, the kind of big brother of Szapka. And here, I think, at this traffic light, we have to be fair to say that there's definitely a bend here. And we cannot ignore this bend curve of the street. So we can look at this Apteka and the Szapka colors. Yeah, and I would just leave it there. I hope you have enjoyed that. I certainly have. I am feeling much closer to the city of Łódź and its inhabitants, the Łódźians. And yeah, I very much hope to see you next time for another video. So take care and bye bye.